Alright guys, here is where we really start to get cooking on building a fan base. So although I have other resources inside the Music Academy that show you how to do this in detail, understand that this is nothing to fear. I feel that it was presented to me in a way where it's something that you have to be very careful with. And you do, but at some point you have to dig in and get your hands dirty. And what I'm talking about is running ads. This is worth its weight in gold for this course right here. And that is this. We're in a day and age where organic growth on social media has been stepped on. The reason why, well, maybe not the reason, but let me rephrase it like this. If you're making music and you're not organically growing, that's not surprising at all. And what you need to do, just like you would for any other business that you started, whether it be a coffee shop or a pressure washing business, whatever, fill in the blank, a salon, you need to advertise. And if you're not advertising, you're losing. You're not getting in front of people that would probably love to hear about you. Back in the day when I was in a band, I would print flyers, and I'll get into, you can look up past stories of mine about how I would do that, but I would do it for free, which nowadays it would never fly. But as a kid, I would print flyers, or as a teenager, I'd print flyers, and basically at the local club, I wouldn't necessarily go to the show every single night, but at about, I don't know, I can't even remember now, maybe 9 o'clock at night, I would say goodbye to my mom, jump in my car, zip on to downtown Pittsburgh, Oakland to be exact, and I'd go to Club Laga, and I would stand either outside or on the steps of Club Laga, and as that show let out, literally hundreds of kids, mostly, would walk down those steps, walk outside, and either get in their cars and drive back to various parts of the city and suburbs of Pittsburgh, or get a cab, or wait for their moms to pick them up. I made sure that every single person that I could get a flyer to had a flyer. I would usually pick up my bass player and or my drummer, so we would hit them from both sides. I would stand on the left. I'd have my bass player stand about 30 feet away from me on the right, and basically anybody that I missed or couldn't get a flyer into their hands, I would scream down the hallway or across the sidewalk to Ray or Radar, my bandmates, or John or Sean or Josh, depending on what era it was, and who decided to stick around. And they would pick up the slack that I missed, or vice versa. If they missed people, they would shout out to me, and I'd make sure that they got one. Because you have to understand, hundreds of people were walking down these steps. It's impossible for one person with a stack of flyers to get to them. And understand that I usually had raver pants on that were basically super baggy cargo pants packed with flyers. So as my stack in my hand ran out, I would miss half a dozen to a dozen people because I'd be reaching into my pockets to get more of my flyers, and there's dozens of people in front and dozens of people in back, so the people that were going down the steps had to keep moving. So anybody that I missed, I'd make sure they got, and at the end of the night, we'd look at the sidewalk. Any of our flyers that were on the sidewalk that were salvageable, we would save them. Because time is money, paper is money, ink is money. And that's what we would do. And it grew our band wonderfully, because those kids would go home and they would jump on MySpace at the time, or our website, and check us out. And maybe they liked us, maybe they didn't. But sooner or later, you would see one of our shows around Pittsburgh because we were a prominent band that played as many shows as we could. But I digress here. My point of painting that picture for you is this. If you're not in the mindset and understanding that you're going to have to spend money to get in front of people, you're crazy. That story has always been true. Even when I couldn't get flyers made for free, we did things and spent money on things to get in front of people, and you as a DJ and producer have to as well. So just as you fronted money for a laptop or a tower to hold Ableton and all your samples on, and you paid for it, and you paid for headphones, and you're paying for this academy, you're going to have to pay for marketing as well. And really you already are by doing this. So, worth its weight in gold. You can see where I'm at here, facebook.com/business/insights/tools/audience insights. Not a lot of people talk about this that I've found. Go to this page, click on go to audience insights, and at this point, go to work. I'm going to go with everyone on Facebook. United States is fine. 18 is fine. I don't think they let you go younger, so 18 is where it's at. I would click on all for gender. Interests is where things get interesting. What I would do, let me see here. Connections pages, interests. I would start to type in whatever you want. Let's just go with Tiesto. It's about half and half, men and women, more men than women. The winning demographic is between 25 and 34. You can scroll down and see that for the most part, it seems like people are single. And I'm trying to see 36%. I don't understand what's gray and blue here. I'm sure if I wasn't recording a video, I could figure it out quicker, but it looks like, I guess, 51% of Facebook users, since the gray is higher, I'm assuming 51% are Facebook users, and then 36% are selected audience of Tiesto, I guess. I don't know. Education level, college is the winner here. 63% over just high school or grad school. So you could take from this that if you target college students, probably mostly single, between men, between the ages of 25 and 34, I would do both men and women. That's Tiesto's demographic, and you can likely target that pretty well if you feel that you are or have heard or been told you're similar to Tiesto. Now, this is just an example, guys, but the cool thing is this tool. This is what you want to use. You can click on page likes and see other things that people who like Tiesto like. Insomniac Events, pretty much a no-brainer. Electric Daisy Carnival, no-brainer. Cascade, cool. Excision, Heineken, kind of an odd one, but might be something to consider. And you can go through all this different stuff. Beats by Dre, may not be a bad one for producers. And check this out. Ultra Music Fest, but I'd probably keep it in the top 5, maybe the top 10. But yeah, you can look at location, which is pretty cool. Where do our winners seem to be at? 500%? 160 compare. Okay, so it looks like Texas is a big area for Tiesto. Miami, which makes sense because obviously that's where Ultra is. Denver, Colorado. A lot of the EDM people are similar to that. You could type in, I don't know, just someone super big, and I don't know who you guys truly like, so forgive me for typing in super huge names if that's not relevant to you, but I think you get the point. You can use this tool on Facebook to really zero in on who you think you sound like and or who you're striving to target their fan base of, or who you're striving to be like. Great marketing tool. The reason why this is relevant to you is because eventually you're going to have to run ads on social media. Right now in 2020, There's a lot of different ways to do this, but I would probably recommend going through Facebook initially because Facebook owns Instagram. So if you're going through Facebook, you can run ads on both Facebook and Instagram through Facebook, if that makes sense. If you go to business.facebook.com, there's a ton of resources at business.facebook.com that can basically route you to Instagram as well, and basically push your Facebook ad to Instagram. Now there's other ways of doing this. I went ahead and did test out just getting on the app Instagram and opening the app and spending $5 a day pointing my ads towards people right on Instagram. The only thing I don't like about that, from what I can understand, is generally speaking, there's just a lot less control. Facebook kind of has the goods on the deep marketing tools and data, so you can really zero in on who you're marketing to and what's working and what's not. Whereas Instagram, when you boost a post, I did have very successful results with it as far as interaction and new fans and likes, but you really don't get a lot of info for the long term. And what you're really looking to do is the long term, because this isn't a joke. You're launching a business here, a creative business, and you want to know who to point your money towards. And especially if you're like me, you don't have all the money in the world, so your dollar really has to stretch. And it's pretty important for your dollar to stretch and have longevity. And I think that Facebook offers a lot of good marketing tools to do that over others. Now, can you advertise on Snapchat, Spotify, TikTok? Absolutely. And all of those tools are something, all of those social platforms are something that I would eventually get around to experimenting with. You can also do Google and YouTube. Those two are one and the same as far as their tracking and ads platforms. So maybe you're somebody who is on YouTube and a lot of your stuff and content is relevant to YouTube. For example, you're a DJ producer, but you're also obsessed with videography. So you make a lot of documentaries about yourself, or maybe you tie your DJing production into interviewing local DJs or something of that nature. You'd probably want to look towards YouTube/Google for that. But the reason why I bring up Facebook is because they have something called a pixel, and I do understand that TikTok has it. Google/YouTube has it as well. Essentially what it is its code that lives on your website. So reach out to Kayla or whoever your web developer is, and as they're working on your site, you can sign up to get a Facebook pixel. And that pixel, it's very easy. That pixel will be on your Facebook and on your Instagram, and Facebook will give you code that you forward either to your developer, or you can look up on YouTube how to do it, but you basically paste that code into your website. You do that with TikTok, you do it with Google and YouTube and any other platform that offers a pixel. That way when you go to run ads on that platform, you can run ads pointed towards your website. People click on the ad, it gets them directed to your website, and once they're on your website, they've been pixeled, so to speak. So once they're pixeled, they're being tracked. Now, if they are fans of yours and develop into fans of yours, or through being tracked, you can have repeated exposure to them and turn them into fans of yours. They're trackable. Now, I can target my fan base across all kinds of different social media platforms, and the people who are converted right away see repeated ads of different things, which is great because it reminds them that I exist, especially if they're not organically seeing my posts on social media accounts. But then aside from that, people that were kind of on the fence about me will get exposed to me multiple times and eventually become fans of mine just through the classic idea of marketing, which is people need exposure to you or your product or your service, whatever it is, multiple times in order to get used to you, get familiar with you, develop trust with you. eventually listen to your music, realize, why didn't I listen to this music earlier? It's awesome. I should have been a fan of this guy 6 months ago. But no matter, they become fans then. So there's a lot of power in setting up social media advertising, whether it be Facebook/Instagram, Google/YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok. Just go through the process on all of these platforms on how to more or less apply. I don't know if that's the best word to use, but sign up for or apply for a pixel, and then take that code and just email it to your web developer, and they should likely know what to do with it, because it's really not that uncommon nowadays, especially for web developers, marketers, and people on the back end of social media to get that going. And then once your pixel is set up, you can start to run ads. Now, once again, I am really broad strokes brushing over this. I have a whole course dedicated to this, and I will continue to roll out courses on this, because this is how you build your fan base. Understand, though, none of this matters unless you have good quality music. So market the music that you have now, combined with the content you have now. But also, as you finish this up and move into the advanced production courses that I offer, and advanced mixing and advanced mastering courses that I offer, in less than a year, you'll be 10 times what you are now, and your music will get better and better. And as you continue to expose potential fans to your music as it progresses and gets better and better, and do fun things like 30 tracks in 30 days or whatever it is that you come up with, you'll build a fan base. And within a year, now it's going to take money. So, working a second job, helping dad out with his painting business, or whatever it is, whatever you need to do to get the money, it's going to take money. But within a year, if you're consistently creating and you're consistently marketing those creations, aka your music, you'll find that you'll get a fan base. One other thing I'd like to say is, if you don't have a website yet, I do believe that all of these social media platforms automatically pixel your profile on there. So for example, if I wanted to run ads and not point people towards my Facebook page, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Forget what I just said. If I wanted to run ads and not point people towards my website, because I don't have one yet, I can point people towards my Facebook page, and I do believe that Facebook will automatically pixel them on your page. So I run an ad towards people who like EDM or tropical EDM. The ad has a snippet of my music in it. And I direct them towards my Facebook page rather than my website, because I don't have one yet. They click on my Facebook page, maybe they like it, or maybe they just check it out and do nothing to it. They've still been pixeled. Let me get my computer on a charger here, guys, and I'll finish up this video, and I'll see you in the next one. But for now, start looking into audience insights and start looking into getting pixels on the various social media platforms that you are signed up with. Get that code for your pixel over to your web developer and get your website pixeled up so people can be followed and tracked, so that you can begin to build a fan base on social media.